The curve of happiness over a lifetime is the shape of a smile. That's one of the key themes in Scott Galloway's new book, The Algebra of Happiness. It explores both our need for professional success and personal fulfillment. The book is out today. Scott is still with us. This is a compendium of the sort of advice or suggestions that you have given your students over the years. What's its purpose?
So I think, well, it was a purpose of personal self-discovery. I took stock of my blessings and I took stock of my mood, and one didn't foot to the other. So I started looking at all the wonderful research that's out there on happiness. And also the way I write books is I take my most popular course, I turn it into a video, and if the video does well, I turn it into a book. And the last session of my course, 4,000 students, is trying to distill all of this research and observations and personal experiences down to a set of equations around best practices for not only creating happiness, because happiness is a sensation. You can get happiness from Chipotle, Netflix, and Cialis. What I'm really talking about is the investments and relationships and the decisions we make through our life to create an art of satisfaction such that the highs and the lows that we all experience happen on a higher plane. And it's my most popular class.
Can anybody do it? I don't mean anybody teach the class.
Yeah.
Is it one of these things that is, it's deceptively simple to read and unbelievably difficult to achieve?
Yeah, and to be clear, you know, it's misleading because I don't think there is any one equation. I think people have to chart their own course, but there are best practices, Richard.
Such as?
Well, let me cut to if there is a secret sauce. The largest study of happiness of its kind, the Harvard Grant study, tracked 400 men through their life, tracked literally everything they did, their food, their relationships, their exercise, and then queried them on their happiness and satisfaction. And they found the one factor most common across the cohort that was happiest was simple: the depth and number of meaningful relationships. At work, do you feel respected and admired, and do you respect and admire other people? Amongst your friends, do they feel a sense of joy and camaraderie from you? And do you feel joy and camaraderie from them? And then most importantly, at home with your family, do you feel an intense level of love and support? And most importantly, do you know they feel that intense level of support and love from you? The greatest academic study in history has the best opening line of an academic study, and the line is the following: happiness is love, full stop.
Right. And if you haven't got it, I mean, it might be a bit late, but if you suddenly realize one is wanting, what do you do then?
Well, quest means business. We talk about compound interest, making small investments over time result in something huge at the end of life. $100 a month can turn into $1 million. Start making the small investments in relationship, reaching out to people, text, notices of appreciation. These things add up to something meaningful. Right,
and on that, we've just shown it on the screen, that work-life balance.
Yeah.
That I'll admit I have successfully got wrong for the best part of 3 decades.
And now you have it. And this is what I tell my young kids, and it's a bit counter to what we were talking about before. If you expect to be in an economic weight class in the top 10, much less the top 1%, which most young people aspire to, then realistically, myth of balance, or balance, is a myth. And that is, we all know somebody who's great at what they do, donates time at the ASPCA, and has a food blog. Assume you are not that person. If you want to be very successful, pretty much plan on working and doing not a lot else in your 20s and 30s.
In the last 10 seconds, the one thing you would have changed.
One thing?
I know you've been asked this a million times.
Sure.
But what is the one thing you would change?
The universe wants to prosper. The happiest people get the incentive of the following, and that is if they love someone else completely and they don't keep score, they just decide to go all in and focus irrationally on their well-being, they are rewarded with tremendous happiness. I wish I'd started making those investments earlier in my life.